past week, Heavy Spoilers hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I was lucky enough to be able to interview him a few months back, actually at this point in time, it's more like a year ago, all about YouTube. This is part 3 of a 4-part series diving into all of his thoughts on YouTube, his growth journey. In today's episode, we are looking at the hidden costs of growing on YouTube, what it really takes to gain and sustain momentum, and the highs and lows that come along with it. So kind of with what we just kind of discussed about how there's the highs and the lows, in particular in light of 2020 turned what we do upside down. When you talk about movies and they don't come out for 9 months, you have to get creative. So how do you respond to the highs and the lows, the great months and the slow months?
Yeah, this is something I've spoken to a lot of YouTubers about, and they'll always say, wow, you're killing it this month. I'm doing really badly. I don't know what's happening. People just aren't watching me anymore. And then there comes a phase when they're doing really well. And when you're doing really well, there's almost a feeling in your head like no matter what I put out at the moment, it's going to do really well. And just off the back of this Squid Game video, every single video I put out was doing well. And they weren't even that engaging of topics, some of them, but they were just blowing up. And what I realized is that recommendations and impressions are what get you views. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, when you visit YouTube, if you see a new channel and you watch one of their videos, the next time you log into YouTube, that channel's videos is on the homepage. So if you choose a popular topic and it blows up, then YouTube, no matter what you post next, is going to recommend that video to that entire audience. So if I get 18 million views on a video, that's 18 million people that are going to see that video the next time next video next time they log into YouTube. Mm-hmm. So that is just going to provide so much traffic to my whatever I put out next. And then, so I think I got 18 million, then 3 million the next one, and it was diminishing returns, but it was still very, very high numbers. Mm-hmm. And that is what I believe when you think you're having an amazing month and you don't know why, no matter what you do, everything does well. It's because you've normally had a video that's done really well and you've gained a whole new audience and they want to check out your new stuff. And eventually they will start to disappear over time and then you'll hit a slump. Now, if you put out a video and it gets 8,000 views, YouTube's only going to show your next video to 8,000 people. And a very, very small percentage of those people are going to watch the next one. Just in the same way, if I had an 18 million view video, the next one got 3 million, it is quite a big drop. So you imagine you put out an 8,000 view one, there's going to be an even steeper drop on that one. And then that one, say if it gets 5,000, you put that out, the next one's going to get a steeper drop, and it's just going to keep dropping off and dropping off and dropping off until you hit a popular topic and it shoots back up. Yep. And you're going to be sat there in that slump thinking, oh my God, the channel's dying. It's just continuously, no one's watching it and it's getting worse and worse every day. And it's only until you hit that next thing that things shoot back up and you're back on cloud 9 saying, no matter what I do, everything I put out, people are watching. So it's about choosing those right topics, and you have to approach it with a business mind state. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people were saying to me, why do you keep doing Squid Game videos? And I was saying, look, I'm self-employed. This topic's doing really well. It's making me money. This isn't going to last forever. I'm not going to be covering Squid Game this time next month. I'll be on to something else. But because I've covered this and it's done so well, it means I can probably get another year out of YouTube and provide you with free content for the next year. Mm-hmm. So just bear with me whilst I pay some bills and it'll be good. Just don't watch the videos.
That's like, for me, with the rankings, new MCU movie comes out, I'm going to do an updated ranking. And this year I've tried to change it up, but I've done some version of an MC ranking every time a new movie's come out since like their 16th movie. So like 8 straight, maybe 9 straight. Be like, why do you keep doing the same? You did the same video 3 months ago. Why are you just doing an updated version of it? Because every single one of those videos, all 20, all 21, all 22, all 23, all 24 MC movies ranked. Every single one of those videos, going back to Thor Ragnarok, has gotten over 100,000 views. Doesn't matter if they're 2 months apart.
Yeah.
It's the topic with the most demand. Doesn't matter if I'm using a script that's very similar because it's still my opinion.
Yeah.
That is the thing with the most demand to it. And people are like, why don't you just do one per year? Like, because I would be throwing away at least 100,000 views. But most of them are like 300, 400, 500,000. I'd be throwing that away. And it's am I willing to do a video that some people are going to roll their eyes at, that I'm repeating my work a little bit? Yeah, I'm willing to do that, to put out content that it's actually people
keep
really
you in
want.
the job. Yeah, exactly. And we're all self-employed. If we owned a store selling jackets and then we started selling lots of hats and we started putting more hats out there, it's like, yeah, it makes business sense. Of course we're going to do this. Like, I'm not. And the thing is, the commenter is not always right. I get recommended so many shows, like, what, you should cover this. And I just look at the traction on it and I think, the audience isn't there for me to justify spending 8 hours of my time to do this when I could be making a video, the 11th video on Squid Game, you know what I mean? So yeah, people comment on stuff, and sure, they'll ask for a show to be covered. That one person might watch that video, but you know that not enough other people do. So you have to very much trust your instincts, especially when you're covering things, because if you want this to be a job, then you have to treat it as what's popular, what's in the you know what I mean? Cinemas don't show The Empire Strikes Back every night because people get bored of it over time. They constantly bring out new movies, new videos, sometimes show reruns. And that's the kind of thing you have to basically treat YouTube as. What's popular? How can I capitalize on this? And that's all it is. If you want to be the best. Which you're not going to be because I'm here now.
Very, very true. One question, kind of when it comes to growth success, and this kind of touches on what we just discussed, but what have you found to be some of the hidden costs of success and growing?
Yeah, well, obviously the time that goes into it. I mean, you're not going to have a social life, especially early on. I'm getting to the point now where I've just hired a full-time member of staff, and my wife said there's been a massive difference in your work life, because I was working about 70 hours a week and now I'm down to 40. So expect to, you know, I was literally going out to the movies on a Friday night, coming back at 11, working until 2, and then getting up on the Saturday and doing another video. And when I had a full-time job alongside it, it was just every single minute that I got free was going into YouTube. And you have to give up that. You have to give up so much time. And just costs of like improving your equipment. Like my videos used to take 45 minutes to export because I had a terrible laptop. So, I mean, I had the option of just buying the next model up, so it would take 35 minutes. But I went into the shop and was like, what's the best for exporting videos? And my laptop now does them in about 5 minutes.
Right.
And that just, I had to pay a lot more extra for it, but because of it, I've made so much more money on top of it.
Freed up a window of time, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I've probably had about 5 different microphones in the last year because I didn't like the sound of them. I don't really like the sound of this one that much, but it's just constantly about seeing what you don't like about it and where things aren't working and how you can improve them to bring your channel up to a more professional level.
Yeah, like for me, one of the costs is what I watch is determined months in advance. Yeah. Because I decide what rankings I want to do. So like the way the universe played out, we got a Bond movie, Halloween movie, Denis Villeneuve movie, Wes Anderson movie, Edgar Wright movie. Plus it's in October where I do these things called 31 and 31s. There's 100 movies I had to watch for videos I want to do for October. So you just do
even the Bond stuff is such a time-consuming thing. Just Bond
in and of itself, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just like one of those things that to be able to be the guy that's the ranking guy that has like a fresh take, that has new jokes, new insights, it's a ton of time. And some of those videos are going to bomb. Yeah. And so you look at it and you go, that was, I to watch all those movies, it was X number of hours, and I don't know if it was worth it. And that's a hidden cost of like, maybe I'm going to spend 30 hours on a video, watching all the movies, editing everything, writing notes, and it gets 10,000 views. That's a punch in the gut when something like that happens.
Yeah.
And that's where, but it's being willing to put in that much time. And like, but I'm working on ranking all 70 Disney animated movies for November. And I started that in January. And I just started working. And it's like literally 11th month long process to do it. And I'll have people out of the blue be like, well, you did this for Disney. You did it for Marvel. You did it for DC. Why don't you do this for Martin Scorsese movies? I can only do so many of these.
There's only so much time.
And I can watch Disney movies with my kids. I can't even watch half Scorsese's movies with my wife. So, like, that's a cost.
I always get asked why I don't cover video games. Yeah, so you've got to give up loads of free time. I love playing video games. I don't get the chance to anymore. And just focus on this, because you're probably, if you want to be a YouTuber, you're probably quite young. You have the time to do this and really give it a shot. You know, when I was first starting out, I quit my job to do this full time, and it wasn't necessarily when my channel was doing all that well. And a lot of people thought I was an idiot doing it, but I thought, you know what? I had just turned 30. I was okay financially because I'd saved up. And I thought, if I give this 6 months and it takes off, then I'll be over the moon. If I don't, then at least I've taken this shot.
Right.
But you've got to put the time into it.
Yeah, that's like my birthday present for my birthday last year is supposed to be a PlayStation 5. And my birthday's in November. So I finally got my birthday present for last year a month ago.
Yeah.
10 months late. Just in time before my next birthday. So I've had a PlayStation 5 for a month now. And I have spent 1 hour playing an actual PlayStation 5 game.
Yeah.
I played a little Fortnite with my son here and there because I just stop by whenever he's playing, like hop in a little bit. But I literally have a PlayStation 5 that I've been wanting to get forever. And I just don't have time to play video games. And even though I'm self-employed, I make my own schedule, but it's like this weird kind of what we've kind of talked about in here of like, you don't know how long you're going to get to ride on top of the waves when things are good. And then when things are slow, you don't know what the thing is that's going to give you momentum again.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there's this weird pressure that you just feel like you have to kind of keep producing. That it's strange because you can have like wild success, but you don't want to miss out on the next thing, or it's a very unusual feeling to have.
I think I've had at most 2 days off at a time in the last 2 years. And that is purely because the year before I had a holiday of 10 days and I was just sat there the whole time checking my phone, making sure stuff wasn't coming out. And I remember the Rambo trailer came out and I was like, I should be covering this. I should be covering it. And my wife is at the point where she's like, I don't really want to go on holiday with you because you will just focus on YouTube and be devastated that you're missing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't get much time off. I saw a meme the other week where it was, I quit my 9 to 5 to become an entrepreneur. I now work 70 hours a week. And it's like, yeah, that is pretty much the life.
Yeah. Right before I went full time, I'd heard someone say, talk about how, I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it was something along the lines of, the drive that would cause someone to be successful as an entrepreneur, and we're creative entrepreneurs is essentially what we are. The drive that makes you successful at this, it makes it incredibly difficult to take time off, to push
100%,
pause,
100%.
and you're just always driven to a little bit more. And I went to the beach with my family in August, and I had to like very actively set things in place to be able to not do any work while I was there. It was like, okay, my phone's locked over here and this is over here. And I like had to have things locked away so that I could try and be present at the beach, because it's just so difficult to not think about it. And I almost every week I'm like, all right, this week I'm going to give myself a social media break on Sunday because I got to get away from it and I got to stop responding to my DMs on Instagram and it is so
difficult. Yeah. When Loki was out, we actually booked away a trip from the Thursday. It was from the Saturday to the Thursday, and this was originally when Disney Plus shows released on Fridays. Mm-hmm. So we booked that up, And then they announced Loki is now going to release on Wednesdays. And my wife was like, well, you know, just take your laptop away and do it when you get there. So get to the place. First thing I do is open my laptop up, check the internet speed. And the internet speed was so slow that it would have taken me days to upload my video. So we ended up coming home 2 days early and losing money just because it was like, well, YouTube has to come first. This is my wife's part-time. I pay the rest of her salary. I obviously pay for myself. It's like, this is kind of more important than having 2 extra days of a break. Mm. And we ended up going late as well. And it just didn't really have a holiday. So thanks, YouTube.
And that's the stuff that, talk about the hidden costs, the stuff that people see the fun side to it. They say, wow, success. I would love it if that many people watched my content. And it's sure, it is awesome. Working for yourself, doing something you enjoy. So don't want to sound complainy, but there's cost that it takes to get there. And most people don't want to actually pay those costs. They want a consistent paycheck that's predictable. They want predictable hours. And people ask me all the time, like, well, how do you have a balanced life?
Don't.
Well, I wouldn't call it balanced.
What is a balanced life?
Yeah, that is not the way this really works. And most people are not willing to put in the amount of work before you make money to be able to get to the point in time that you do make money. And whether that's taking the risks, experimenting, doing something different, they just don't want to pay the cost to have success. They want to do movie reviews.
Yeah.
And be successful at it.
Have a hobby.
Yeah, and they want their hobby, but it takes hard work. If you enjoyed this video, remember it is part 3 of a 4-part series. The other 2 parts you can check out already somewhere around here. And coming in the very near future will be the 4th and final part of this interview. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking YouTube too much. Bye-bye.